Welcome back to Nevada Realtors Today, your place for timely updates on the news and trends that matter to realtors in the Silver State. If you want to know exactly what changes are coming and how to prepare, so you can deliver amazing service to clients and navigate your real estate career with ease, this podcast is for you.
Something that you had mentioned is a fundamental concern about an oversupply of real estate agents, ensuring most can't make a living income. And I think that that's what you were just referring to in the research that you did. What do you think are the underlying causes of this, and how might this affect the industry and agents' livelihood moving forward?
Yeah. Well, I will just start off by saying this is one area of research in which most of the members of the industry, at least the successful ones, the ones that are full-time agents and brokers, basically agree with me on. I just saw an article in the trade press on this issue in which, full-time realtors are saying, look, we've got to do something about not really restricting entry, but ensuring the people who enter the industry are fully committed and competent. That's the key thing.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
we have, and oh gosh, there's so many estimates. We have nearly 2 million agents out there with licenses, and they're trying to sell a little over 4 million properties in a year. And all you have to do is the math. You realize that the large majority cannot earn a living income. It's crazy. So what happens is it becomes a part-time industry. Now, mind you, there are people, your mainstay members are full-time, and many of them are doing
Right.
very, very well. But if
Mhm.
you look at the large majority, they're not doing well at all. And when I did that study on central Pennsylvania, I actually looked at lots of agents and found, oh, they had full-time jobs working for, I don't know, working for a food service company, working for a computer company, and almost all of them had other jobs if they weren't retired. So that's not the best kind of industry, healthiest industry. You don't want to have a surgeon who's just very part-time, has only done 3 surgeries, if you have surgery. And
Right.
this is a huge purchase for consumers. A lot is at stake. This is not buying a $20, item. This is the largest expenditure most people will make during their lifetime. So to go back to your question as to what do we do about it, I did 3 reports on this, and in one report, I talked a lot about what you had to do to get a license. You have to take courses in almost all states, and then you have to pass a state licensing exam. Well, the I actually took those courses and got a license. I am one of those nearly 2 million licensed agents, so I'm not selling anything. And you don't want to ask me to help you sell anything because I don't know enough about how to do it.
Did you
But I
pass
do.
your test on the first time?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay.
And the whole thing took me 3 weeks.
Right.
Well, I'm an example.
Yep.
And I'm old now, and
Mhm.
my short-term memory's not that good yet. And I was a little worried, frankly, that I was going to fail the test. But,
Mhm.
it was easy for me. This test was too easy. Not only that, I felt when I took that course that it was like a law course. I mean, all these regulations and laws and things like that you had to learn something about.
Mhm.
I did not see the practical information about what you really have to do if you're in the field and you're working with clients or
Mhm.
you're trying to recruit clients.
Mhm.
I didn't see that. So the first thing that has to be done is I think you got to beef up the courses, but more importantly, you have to toughen the exams. It's just too easy. In most states, you can take the exam many times, and it's 75% maybe percent that you have to score in order to pass, and that's a C, right? But I'm not sure that that's an adequate standard here. And I think one state even has 65 passage.
I think that's something that actually in Nevada we talk about almost every legislative session is, and for many, many years, of what can we do to make sure that our industry is elevated? Is it pre-licensing? Is it post-licensing? And so, Brandon, do you remember, I think it was 3 or 4 sessions ago, we made sure to increase how many continuing education credits you have to take every other year, and make sure that contracts are an emphasis, and we I mean, we absolutely, like really, really, really value the brokers that take the time to work with their agents and help them understand and have these training courses on, like as a new agent, you do think you know what you're doing when you go into the business, but there's so much to learn and you want to learn from the right people and be exposed in the right way to help your client, the
Well,
consumer, the best you can.
I commend you for taking that initiative. That has to happen all over the country. And it's very difficult to
Mhm.
change rapidly, but you just have to keep at
Right.
it. And I think that if the exams were made tougher, another thing I found is that quite a few of the questions any intelligent person could guess the answer to correctly. I actually show an example of that in one of my reports. So the second thing, however, is once you get the license, there's
Mhm.
has to be some kind of mentoring
Right.
and call it mentoring, call it internship, call it other
Mhm.
name. Other industries have that. You can't go out and do electrical work on your own once you get a license. You have to work with an
Right.
experienced electrician. And the same thing should be true in the real estate industry. And I think one company actually has a mentorship program. I don't think that 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 sporadic efforts are going to work. I think actually NAR has got to take some initiative here and develop a program and try to persuade the biggest companies, to adopt it. And I have no problem at all with the students or the mentorees paying for that.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, today in half the states, they don't even have high school education. Mind you, almost all of them do, and
Mhm.
about half of them have a college degree as well. But
Brandon, do you have mentoring in your office, like when for your new agents?
Yeah, so every agent that joins our company has to go through an apprentice program,
Hmm.
which is 5 transactions. The first two can't even be in their name; they've got to be under their mentor's name. They've got to do a couple transactions to earn the right to write a contract, and that was just a conscious decision we made
Mhm.
after just knowing that if we're going to make a change in this industry, it's got to start with the brokers. And
right,
you mentioned earlier about the making the test harder. I have mixed emotions on that because I think sometimes the testing, some people test better than others, and some of my best agents that have over the years have been people that have struggled with this test. They're just not good test takers, but they get everything else. And so I really believe it comes down to brokers and how they're held accountable for the people that they take under them. Too
Mhm.
many brokers just take agents' numbers, and because some sell, some don't. And I mean, it's really a mathematical formula. Sad to say, in our industry, on how to make a profitable office, you've got to have a certain number of agents. And if you look at almost every company across the board, um, the percentage of who sells, who doesn't sell, um, is almost the same in every company.
yeah. Well, I commend you also for having that program. I know a number of brokers do. I mean, my view is that most of the industry is competent and is honorable and is trying to do, the best they can to serve consumers. But it's such a large industry, and we know from industry sponsored reports that not everybody is competent, experienced, or in some
Right.
cases, not even honest. So that's the challenge of the industry. It's sort of the consumer group's challenge as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's
but it's great.
like
It's great that you're doing that. I wish that were universal. I have talked to other brokers about a lot of other brokers about this, and they seem to think that if you go through 5 transactions, and you're reasonably smart and competent, that 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 you can learn an awful lot and what you need to know in order to do it yourself.
yeah, and unfortunately, it does need to be an industry-wide thing because if an agent comes in and talks to us and they don't want to go through that kind of a program, they'll just go to another
Exactly.
broker.
Right. That's why. So, I've actually talked to NAR about this, creating a program. I think it could be a significant source of revenue for them I mean, I expect, and a number of other people expect they're going to lose some members. Who knows how many, 5%. I've heard 5% to 20% to even more. I can't even guess myself, but they're going to lose revenue. But this is a legitimate way, I think, to increase revenue for not only the national office, but also for the state offices if they were part sponsoring a mentorship program. And you could provide financial incentives for the brokers to, take on the folks who go through the mentoring program. I think it's too much of a stretch now to go to the legislature and ask them to mandate it. That's just not going to happen. But if you could create a really attractive mentoring program and that the brokers could see that the people who go through that mentoring program are going to be the most productive and committed agents, I think then it may just, become popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think all those are great suggestions because you want to empower them to know that they can be successful in this business. And I think that that type of mentorship does empower them to know if they're asked a question, how to answer it, how to navigate. And I think the stronger they feel, the more confident you feel in anything, the better you'll do, and the more you'll like it, and the more successful you'll be.